It's all
Hello.
my fault.
Yep, it is.
It's all my fault. That's why we're a little late getting in here.
You went to the bathroom and got lost. Come
Mother
on.
Nature, Mother Nature screamed at me, and then I cowered in the corner.
Was you crying like a little baby too?
I was crying like a little bitch.
Oh shit.
That's what I did.
So at the
Oh
moment,
man.
I don't know if anybody else will be joining us. I sent the I sent the link out and stuff about an hour and a half or so ago. Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
But
It's all right. Nobody
so
likes us anymore.
so I noticed and let's talk about this one because it seems like it's the thing everybody's talking about right now. Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog were all found dead. And this happened yesterday, but the news kind of just started this morning. And they started out by saying, it didn't look suspicious. They thought it was like a gas leak. Then the gas people were there inspecting and stuff like that. And after a few hours of that press release, they turned around and said it wasn't carbon monoxide poisoning. But it's still a suspicious death. So all these people are jumping to all kinds of conclusions. I'll be interested. I'm not going to jump to any
Yeah, no
conclusions,
shit.
but it does look suspicious. They have 3 dogs. 2 of them were still found alive on the property. She was found in the bathroom. He was found in the mud room, and it's like, okay, it just doesn't. The whole thing doesn't
It
add up,
doesn't add up.
right? So that's all I'm saying about that. But it is sad. It's very sad. I mean, considering you know, Gene Hackman had Gene Hackman had quite the career. You know, I mean, I don't think anybody really did a better Lex Luthor than him. When he did the Christopher Reeve Superman. You
Yeah,
know, and then you got
that was pretty cool.
Hoosers or Hosers, where he was like coach of basketball.
Hoosiers.
You
Those
know,
Hoosiers.
and then his wife was a pianist, and it was almost 30 years between the two of them. Oh, I don't know. It just and in the bathroom where she was found, they said there was an unidentified type of pills scattered throughout. Scattered.
Yeah.
So, but it's still suspicious enough where it warrants a very thorough investigation. So that's been like the top story all day. The other ones we don't talk about the politics part of it, but oh, and they were both they were oh here we got a new story. They they were I forgot about this. They had been dead a while too.
Yeah.
Because they were starting to mummify and stuff like that. An open pill bottle was discovered with pills scattered across the floor near Hackman's wife. Police added there was no obvious signs of a gas leak, discrediting a theory that has spread online.
Right.
And the front door was left ajar when they got there.
Kind of strange.
So police wrote that the deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. Upon arrival, authorities found a dog running loose on the property, another family canine sitting near, and I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, but the wife's body, and another found dead in a closet. Hackman's body, which was fully clothed, was reportedly found on the ground in a room near the kitchen. His sunglasses were also on the ground nearby, and they also, another one, they didn't say this, but another story said that his cane was close by too, his body, leading the police to speculate that he may have fallen. So they were married for 34 years. And having moved to Santa Fe after he retired in 2004.
Yeah, that really sucks.
The county's top cop added the couple could have been victims of a double homicide, suicide, accidental death, or maybe died of natural causes. But they were there for a while for that much decomposure to set in.
Right.
To say in one story where the hands and feet looked like they were mummified. And I've seen all kinds of things on like Facebook and stuff since then. People speculating on the rumors and stuff because you only get this piece and then it's like, no, it's not a gas leak. And then, the story grows further and further on down the line.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a witness or somebody that said that they saw him out and about in public about a week or two prior to this. So they got a timeline about when they died. So
That's weird, though.
It'll be interesting what they find. It sure does look extremely suspicious in my eyes. Something just doesn't add up. One dog dead, two of them found alive on the property.
Yeah.
And they were all German Shepherds from what I could gather.
Definitely weird.
Bill, it look at it. I mean, I don't want to be one to speculate, but he wasn't in the greatest health. He
Yeah.
had to walk with a cane and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we all know that's not easy to do sometimes, or at least I do. But it looks like, but you think that if he would have fallen, all right, in the kitchen or near the kitchen and say hit his head, right?
Mm-hmm.
There would have been some types of blood or blunt force trauma to the head that would have been, and so far that hasn't been said that it's been found that way. And they didn't, until an autopsy is done on her, they don't know if she actually took the pills You know, it's like the thing could have been a murder, door being open ajar, place could have been murder. You know, they could have murdered him and staged it.
True.
You know,
It's kind of strange, though.
yeah, it'll be interesting to find out what happens and how it all plays out. Or will it be a Hollywood mystery that goes on forever? You know, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was kind of interesting to start the day with. I've been reading and hearing about it all day. You know, um,
It is strange. Very. So,
I can't play my games yet or do much. It's very difficult to type and to do any typing and try to contact people because I got to still type one handed, and that's like a very slow process to type anybody a long message or anything.
yeah.
So I spent the day watching TV and
It is.
stuff.
It does suck that you that you're still having issues.
Yeah, it is. And see, usually I can kill time, and like with like the deck, I never like making an intro for it, right, for the deck yet.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even do that, with my. Hi,
Yeah.
Kate.
Oh, hi, Kate.
Feeling frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't. So,
Yeah, Joe still can't. He can't whack off still.
ha
So.
ha 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 ha.
Mhm.
So I still can't, so I asked Tom, and we'll see if he ever comes up with something he might for an intro for this.
Oh man.
Um, so I was sitting out there watching, like, it's like on our channel and Spectrum, it's like 65 HLN or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the news, but after a certain time, yeah, therapy hasn't even showed up out here.
Sorry.
I've had to do a lot of that on my own. Yeah, I've had to do a lot of it on my own, and it's not easy. They show up out here, and it's all paperwork. The last person that showed up here, well, that's for your legs. Well, I don't need therapy for my legs. I need therapy for. I don't do that kind of therapy. I'm lower body. We got to get somebody for upper body. And I'm like, what the fuck? Not to mention all the problems I'm having with the insurance bullshit. But anyway, I was watching this thing on Dahmer, and I was watching again, and this was like how it really happened, or something like that. One of those shows, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just amazing how stupid the fucking cops were in Milwaukee at that time.
Really? You think it's amazing? Half the fucking police officers in the United States are retarded.
Well, these guys were just, I mean, how do you take a guy that's running through the street naked back to the fucking apartment and release him to the guy that's there? You know,
I don't know how you do that.
and not ask questions about what the hell was going on and why he was running. You know, it's just some things are just. That was one of those ones that stick out in the head for out of in you know in my head for the rest of my life. You know, we were down in that area shortly after that happened, and they
Yeah.
caught him and arrested him. You know, and the whole crime scene area was taped off and shit. The state fair was happening around that same shortly after that, right? So before we actually entered the state fairgrounds, we drove down the road that he lived on,
Yeah.
and then I said it too that day too. I said, "Yep, once they put that guy in prison, he'll get into GP and he'll be killed by somebody that doesn't give a rat's ass because they're already there for life." You know. And sure enough, that's what happened. It didn't take long. He in Porter's
Mhm.
prison, and shortly after that, he mistakenly got released into general population. And I
Do
believe,
you believe that? Do you believe he mistakenly got released?
no, I don't think it was a. I
It
mean,
wasn't a mistake.
that's the
They
way,
pinned it on the rookie because that was the way to do it. But it was
right?
not a mistake.
But they gotta kind of cover their asses, you know.
Hmm.
So they say it was a mistake. We all know it wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a
They let
mistake.
him in general population. And shortly after that, there was a guy sentenced a guy that's been sentenced there for life. He had nothing to lose. You know, we don't have the death penalty here in Wisconsin. So it's
Hmm.
just another life sentence for him.
Hmm.
And he kills him. You know, and I knew he wasn't going to last that long. You know, because he was one sick motherfucker.
Hmm. I know he was.
He couldn't control his urges and stuff like that. And mannequins and sex dolls and all these other things didn't quite hack it. And I'm like, if people knew that, I mean, the guy should have sought help, but apparently he didn't want any.
No, was kind of obvious. But yeah, Dahmer was definitely a crazy fucker. I don't know if you can consider him as crazy as your favorite guy over and it was out in Cali. Um,
Manson?
yeah, Manson was pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, but Manson had some control over what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. And second, Manson, as far as we know, did not commit murder. He did not actually physically, you know, but that's as far as we know. I mean, you know, he could
Hmm.
have been tied to, they don't know. They only got him on the Sharon Tate murders, the LaBianca murders, and Gary Hinman. That's it. So they only tied him and his little family to those. But as far as we could, you know, Manson could have killed numerous people and not even know about it. You know,
True.
because he was always trying to pin it on somebody. Tell Tex Watson, oh, you know what to do. You know, and they all had them some kind of thing writing in the victim's blood on the walls. You know, the crime
Hmm.
scenes. You know, and they were trying. He was trying to say, "Oh, the Black Panthers did it and stuff." And it's like, I'm not surprised because things were so laid back in the '60s or the '70s, and some people were so scared. The one guy should have, because the Beach Boys had some. You'd think some. Clout in the area where they called the cops and stuff like this, they could have had him arrested. But they never did because they were afraid of him. I mean, he totally destroyed the Dennis Wilson's house
Yeah.
to the point where he had to move out and have his, lawyers buy him another house or whatever and move out of there and shit. And it's like, why the fuck didn't you just call the cops and really file one hell of a complaint? You're a celebrity, for Christ's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, geez.
You want to know something? From this day forward, I'm gonna call testicles Wonkas.
You're gonna call what?
I'm gonna call testicles Wonkas.
Why?
Now the balls, I'm gonna call them Wonkas,
Yeah.
and that's because they hang between a willy and the chocolate factory.
Oh my god. That's so fucked up.
But it's funny.
That'd make a good t-shirt.
Excuse me. Yep, there I go again.
With like a long oversized t-shirt, you put like I can come up with something good. That would be fucking hilarious.
Well, yeah, we're gonna call the testicles or balls Wonkas because they hang between a willy and the chocolate factory. Ugh, good God. Yeah, I really don't know why I'm so fucking tired. I feel like
Getting old,
yeah, kiss my ass.
you know.
You're older than I am.
I know, ain't that a bitch?
Mm. So anyway,
You gonna let the puppy in?
Yeah. I was trying to get your list together for your insurance guy.
That pisses me off too. They're still fucking with me, believe it or not. They can't get anything right.
who can't get anything right?
Well, let's see. We found out I have, Medicare Advantage or Plus or whatever it's called. It's like you got Medicaid, Medicare, and then you got an additional, right? So I've got Anthem, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, or whatever it's called. And because it's the state that's fucking with me over Medicaid or Medicaid, that I'm gonna lose Anthem, and they got deadlines, and it's a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's midnight tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get something together since we haven't heard anything.
So thank God right now I don't have any immediate appointments.
As long as
my
neurology
last
doesn't,
one,
as long as neurology doesn't
right.
call.
My last one was like yesterday, the day before yesterday.
Tuesday.
I went, I had to go see the doctor. He explained what happened after all the scans and tests they did on Friday before that. He explained, and he changed medication, so on and so forth, doubled the one, and the blood thinner or whatever or shit. So he doubled the blood,
No, he doubled.
well, whatever.
I'll tell you about it.
He doubled one of my pills and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden it's like, now we got to see the neurologist and they're going to call.
He
Set up an
doubled up your
appointment.
cholesterol pill.
Oh,
He changed your one of your blood pressure pills.
yeah. Because my blood pressure was just a little high, according to him.
Yeah.
The last couple of times I was there. So, but it doesn't make this trying to, it gets you stressed out.
Oh, I know. Oy.
You
Damn.
go so long, don't have to deal with it. All of a sudden, they start fucking everything up because they got it changes or this changes or that changes, and it's like, oh, we sent you a letter. Really? Where is it? I don't remember getting a letter.
Right.
My email has been the same for at least 25 years or more.
Right.
So like when these places ask for an email address, I've always used that same email address so that they can't get it wrong, and if they send too much, yeah, it might go to spam, but I always check spam as it is.
Well, yeah. You're supposed to check your spam.
Well, yeah, I check it before deleting it because you never know what because
You might get
sometimes things
something-
get automatically spammed because they send too many emails. So it automatically gets marked as spam on some, under Yahoo's whatever.
Right.
But it's like, so I check it every now and then because you never know if an important email might be in there. And that happens every now and then that I got to go into spam, say, oh, this is not spam,
Mhm.
So I would notice, if something came from one of those insurance companies. No. But they say they send it. Oh, really? And we check, we don't check the mailbox every day, but when I'm expecting something, it gets checked every day. And it don't go like a
Right.
week without getting checked. It only, it's like every other day that mail is checked.
Right.
So it's not like we're missing anything. They're not sending it. And they always think they're fucking right, which is another thing that pisses me off.
Yeah, it is bullshit.
In other countries, the other countries don't even have to worry about insurance.
No.
There's some countries that get free
Canada.
insurance.
Canada gets free insurance.
Everybody gets free insurance, and you don't have to fill out all this bullshit paperwork 2 or 3 times a year just to keep it either.
Nope.
Yeah, but how is their Social Security or whatever they call
Well,
it?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's just one of those things. I don't know how that would work. I really don't know how that would work. Is if you move to Canada and all of a sudden you still collect your Social Security from the USA, or you try to collect Social Security if they even have that in Canada.
Thing is, though, Canada, Mexico, all them, you gotta apply to fucking move
Canadian
there,
Social
and then you
Security
gotta be
system
approved.
consists of three parts: Old Age Security, Canada Pension Plan, and Guaranteed Income Supplement.
It's not easy. It's easier to get it to become a U.S. citizen, and then it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. But I had that thought last year, and I had the thought, and Tanya's the one that mentioned it and said something because we were real close to the Canadian border last year.
Yeah, but you gotta have a passport to go
I
into
know,
Canada now.
but we were right. I mean, we were standing there. I don't know if Tanya got pictures on her camera of it or not, but we were standing there at the site of where the Edmund Fitzgerald went down, in Michigan. And
Yeah.
and while I was standing there taking pictures, I noticed the big sign that goes over the whole highway there that we weren't far from that said Canada Tollway just ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was like right there because Janet and them pointed out it's like there's the
Yeah,
Canadian border.
there's a big bridge. There's a good
Right
sized
across the
bridge that
Hudson
goes right
River.
up.
Yeah, right across the Hudson River.
Mm-hmm.
We were that close.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did get pictures of Canada.
So we were actually that close. I mean, it was a cool trip. It's a trip I'd like to take again, but this time when I go into Michigan, we want to go up towards the Upper Peninsula and cross over. You know,
Well, if you're gonna cross over to Canada, you better have a
no, no, no,
passport.
no, not cross over to Canada, cross over into Michigan, but in the Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin. You know that upper
Oh,
area by Green
well,
Bay
the
and
Upper
stuff.
Peninsula is that, yeah, Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
Okay, so but we want to cross
Yeah,
over into Michigan up there once to see what's up that way.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm going to do my research a little bit on a couple of things, before we go. But that's one of the things that we want to take like a weekend and go up that way. You know, we we're thinking about booking the hotel on the Wisconsin side, and then just when we get up there because
No. The part we're going to be is Michigan.
whatever. But we're going to explore that part on Wisconsin side again because there's a couple places I know I want to go back to up there. Up in the Wisconsin side,
Up by Marionette and that.
where we were taking pictures of the
Yeah.
lake,
Where we were
And
at
there
that
was-
one place.
and there was those two tugboats there,
Yep.
and then you had the one tugboat that was like a museum.
Oh, you're talking about the thumb.
Yeah,
Okay.
as you call it, the thumb
of Wisconsin.
the thumb of Wisconsin.
Because Wisconsin, it looks like a glove. So the thumb.
I've never heard that before.
Where Sturgeon Bay is.
It looks like a glove.
It looks like a glove. I'd
Yeah,
say it looks
a
more like a
mitten.
mitten.
Like a mitten. And then you have your thumb separate.
Well, anyway, I want to go back up in that area because of I want to take more pictures and stuff and video of which we didn't do because we were kind of like under a little bit of time constraints. But I wanted the toy store was just like, man, took me back to the 70s and the 80s. Everything in there just about.
Yeah, that's the cool stuff.
You know, it was a real nostalgia place to walk into, and I want to take more pictures and videos of the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that we did. That was one of the trips we did last year too. You know, because we were taking pictures of what was it that we were trying to figure out. Um, I don't even remember what those stories were, but there was like a couple of plaques by the lake. What is that lake? The upper part of Lake Michigan that we were near, that had stories to them.
Mm-hmm. There's stories all over the fucking place about things.
But I just want to go back up there there's a lot of reasons, you know. I mean, I got to thinking, you know, after Tom's been doing what he does, I mean, it wouldn't hurt when we go to some of these paranormal locations to take a stop and do a little short video on some historical locations, because we've been by so many historical locations over the past, you know, 6 years, 7 years that we've been doing this, 6 years.
Um,
You know, we started in
Shit, how long has it been?
March of 2019, so it'll be 6 years.
Has it really
Coming up
been that
next
long?
month. Yeah,
Damn.
since we switched to paranormal and started doing all this traveling.
Wow. That's crazy.
But it's like every time we go out, there's like historical landmarks and stuff everywhere. And it wouldn't take but a few minutes just to stop to take a few videos, read the things, and you know, you know, those short videos could actually boost our subscription rating on YouTube. You know, I mean, just going up by that area, there was so much that we saw that we should have stopped at. You know, we need
Mhm.
to, when we take our trips from now on, I think we need to make a little extra time in case something pops up along the way that we want to take and stop at. Because when Tanya and I told you about it, but it's like we were driving down, what was that highway when we found the pyramid? Oh, we were driving down driving down the highway, and we looked over on the right side of the road.
I think it was
You're
94.
driving down the pyramid and found the highway?
No, we were driving down the highway and found the pyramid. We were driving down the road.
The Golden Pyramid in Illinois.
There was all this big gold. You could see it. It was a real bright and sunny day, so it was like, you know, really standing out.
Especially the top of it, the very tip.
And we said, what the hell is that? I didn't know there was pyramids in Illinois. And so we found the next exit and found it and took pictures
So I was going to say,
it.
took the next road right off to the right.
Yeah.
Drove around until we got onto one of the other main roads and found it. And it's actually an event place.
But see, it's like one of those things that you wouldn't know exists unless you just kind of
Come across it.
And we had enough time to kill that we took the detour, and that's what I want to keep doing. Is that, you know, I got to be somewhere in like this place by a certain time. I'm going to leave an extra hour early so that I can, you know, in case there's a side trip or something that, you know.
Yeah.
Because that was, I think, the day we were going to meet Dale. And we had to be at that bar by a certain time.
I think so.
Because we were trying, And if it wasn't for traffic, oh God, traffic was so bad that they were trying to. We started out by going down. What's that famous Route 66?
Yep.
We started by going down that famous Route 66. We were going to the one area and heading towards it, and then we got into a traffic jam. I mean, literally, traffic was standing at a standstill for like an ungodly amount of time. It was at a standstill.
Yeah.
And we were probably about 10 or 15 miles from where we wanted to be, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the time and it's like, oh fuck, we got to turn around and meet Dale. So we didn't even make it to this Pink Elephant Antique Mall or whatever it was called. It's just one of those places that looked kind of cool on Route 66, but we didn't get that far.
Yeah.
Traffic was a bitch. But that's the kind of things, that we can do as well, take time out and do on the way to some of those locations. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few places it'd be cool to go. Oh, did you know that I Monday night I stayed in Clear Lake, Iowa?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I stayed at the Best Western.
How far were you from the crash sites?
The crash sites, I don't know, but I wasn't about maybe a 3-minute drive away from the ballroom.
Wow.
But I couldn't go anywhere because I was, work vehicle, and I was
Right.
out of time on my clock. So
Right. Yeah. You can always drive for a certain. I get it.
Yep.
But that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I just kind of arranged it to where I could swing through there and make it just break the monotony a little for my drives.
Well, that was one of those. That was one of those places when we went there that it was kind of strange, but not until after the fact.
Hey.
Because we discovered the ghost plane thing after the fact when we got home.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, I mean that was
videos froze again.
Is it really?
Yeah, looks like you're taking off your mic or your headset and itching your ear.
Yeah, my ear gets itchy every now and then.
That's another reason I don't wear those damn headsets.
Upgrade my phone.
There, is that better?
Yeah. Hold on a second. You can upgrade your phone.
My cell phone.
Yeah.
You can upgrade yours too.
Oh, I can upgrade mine too?
If I read it correctly.
Yeah, but you got to get a new phone to do it.
No.
Then it all starts over again.
No, it's like an upgrade for free, isn't it?
I was going to say, mine is upgrade and get $200 off, plus get up to $300 in trade-in credit.
Oh, maybe we'll have to go.
When I trade in my Pixel 7 Pro.
We'll have to go to Sunday.
Yeah, when we take Janice and the kids back.
Right. Because I want that stuff done. I've got plans. I mean, we didn't buy all that stuff just to leave it sit around this house and leave it all blank.
So your family trying to get a refund?
A refund?
Well, yeah, you said you're going to take Janice and the kids back.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
Very funny.
I don't think Janice would be worth much, though, right now.
And yes, I know I'm funny. I'm so mean. I'm such a
Yeah,
big
that
boy.
would be mean to do to my grandkids, but I could see taking Janice back and trading her in. But right now she ain't worth much. I thought,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway,
Okay.
that was funny. Oh shit, my wrist just
So what's
cracked.
next on the list to talk about?
Here's
We
your.
got
I'm gonna
peanut
show you.
gallery
I'm
over
gonna
here.
show you your favorite person.
Oh.
The past couple days that when
Remember
I go in
her?
public,
It's Balin. Ran across me
I'm
on the
just
reels.
really embarrassed. Honestly, that's the honest truth, and I
Yeah.
know I shouldn't. But
You're showing, stop. You're showing stuff from an episode that I don't think I've seen yet.
I don't know if
Oh,
that's
Balin, hold
from
on!
that. I don't know if
Stop!
that's
Stop!
from
Stop!
that.
That's probably the newest one that
I
we
don't
won't
know
see until Sunday night.
I don't know if that's even the show. She
Uh,
does reels
oh,
and put
YouTube.
stuff up on the YouTube reels
Ah,
and Facebook reels.
I see. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in her shoes.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's
It,
probably easier that she's a female. I mean, can you imagine a guy having some of those same ticks and saying some of the same stuff she says?
they'd just probably just be looked at sideways and
I don't know.
She does get looked at sideways, though.
I know
That's
she
the
gets looked
thing.
at
She
sideways,
gets.
but a guy
Mhm.
saying some of that stuff, like my mom licks vaginas and, Joe Biden has a vagina. Some of that shit just coming out of a man's mouth might be taken a whole lot different than coming out of hers.
I'm pregnant.
Now that would be funny as hell. I'd go around saying that just to fuck with people if I had a bigger beer
So
belly or something.
how did you guys run across her stuff? Did you do it the way I did? Like
Uh,
I
you're
noticed
fro-
her
you're
I
frozen
noticed
again.
her first whenever I was doing, the reels and stuff. I
No,
pump through the reels.
I noticed her because I was sitting here one day, bored as hell, and I saw the episodes of Supernatural that were on. Saw this one, that one's a repeat. So I was going through the channels on Spectrum, and I'm going, "Oh, that's that girl with Tourette's syndrome." So I started watching it, and I was hooked.
And then he had to stop watching it so he could watch it with me.
And then I found it on Max, which is a better place to watch it because it's all uncut and uncensored.
Well, yeah.
So we've been watching it on Max when the new episodes come.
Yeah, and Dawn's been watching it on regular cable, so we get the full effect. She don't. She asked me if I watched the latest episode. I'm like, no. I go, because it's on during our wrestling. I go, so we won't be able to watch it until Sunday afternoon together.
But yeah, because I ran across Balin whenever I was, I like doing these reels. I like checking out the reels on Facebook because
Actually, I should check to see.
I come across all kinds of crazy shit, right? So I seen Balin on there, and I'm like, and I started watching some of her stuff and following her, and feeling sorry for her because I mean, look at the experiences that we had with Union and the people that we were picking up
Well,
at
yeah,
Union and stuff. Okay, so I kind of had an idea
but
of,
at the
of some
same
of the
time,
stuff she
she
was
also
going through.
has, because she has Tourette syndrome and
She also has seizures.
and no, but the OCD and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
the
that,
But she has
OCD,
to do it 3
the
times.
where
seizure.
she has
She
to do
does
it
have
three
seizures.
times or something
Yep,
like that. So you got that same
yep.
stuff
It's
going
repetitive
on.
stuff, and yeah.
So you got other conditions that are in there with the Tourette syndrome, and you know, then you got those ones that I had one lady, I'll never forget, working at Union, and I was doing the transit thing. Okay. And it wasn't picking up EC, early childhood. Okay.
Yeah.
This was picking up a lot of disabled, but not in a wheelchair lift van. Okay. So most of them were mobile on their own or had a
Right.
coach like Jeff, to ride
Yeah,
along
they're
with them.
called ambulatory.
So I was picking up those up and stuff like this because it was when we got the contract from Metro Plus.
Yep.
Okay.
We
And
were doing the Metro Plus runs.
so I was doing a couple of those, and the dispatcher failed to tell me that you're not to put this one in the front seat. But they did tell me that this one and this one can't be set close to each other. All right. So if they would have told me about the one in the front seat that you weren't supposed to, anyway, I would have switched them around. So I had them separated, you know, and so I'm sitting there and I start to take off to drive right after picking her up, putting her in the front seat, and all of a sudden she goes wham like this. And
Yep.
you're talking
Smacked you.
And you're talking some big. That woman had some, you know, tree trunks on her for arms. Busted my fucking nose wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to sit there with these two, you know, unpredictable people
Yeah.
trying to deal with my nosebleed, waiting for somebody else to come and pick them up. You know, because I had to deal with my busted nose, and boy, did that swell up after that and get black and blue. Oh, I was pissed.
I believe it.
Because this stupid ass dispatcher didn't tell me not to put the black woman in the front seat because she had one of those ticks that, you know, she kept
Or
doing
she
this.
slings her arm.
Get hit, yeah, and you get hit by her. Fucker thought it was funny. I heard him laughing over the radio. Boy, I fucking chewed their asses out after that. But it wasn't too long after that, anyways, because the one company was like trying to get me to work for them for God knows almost a full year.
Yeah.
Because they'd come out in their cabs out by the airport, see me sitting there, and it's like, why don't you come work for us? Why don't you? And the manager of the company did it, you know, just to come out there to find me to, you know.
Yeah, see yours. For yours, I mean,
So that was one of the reasons I left. Besides the way they screwed over you and Dwayne.
so for your phone, it's get $700 off of a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, plus the value of your trade-in.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, you know, with our experiences and stuff. So then I discovered that she was making those shows, and they were being put up on Max.
yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch them yet. She is, you know, I do feel sorry for her. There is another one too that's in the UK.
They were uh, there was some talk about her somewhere about people saying how she's faking it, and I started watching
She
it
ain't
more
faking it.
closely on Max. When I was watching it on Max, I was watching it even more closely. There's no way in hell
No, she's not faking it.
that she's not faking that. You know,
It's kind of hard to fake stuff like that.
and yeah, I feel sorry for her as well. But you also got to give her credit because she's come a long way from what was it? Her mom, on one of the episodes, her mom said that it was like 4 years ago we were feeding her spoon feeding her ourselves. She couldn't feed herself, and now she's like getting ready to move out on her own. That's
Hmm.
one hell of an accomplishment. That
Yeah.
over 4 years ago she couldn't even feed herself, to now
Oh, here's one of them that I found about her, and you're not gonna find it on Max or on these shows. She also did a thing on either Facebook or the Reels or something. It is called Cooking with Balin, and it is so fucking hilarious because her friends and her, during the time her ticks would be a little heavier and a little crazier, would try and make cookies and mix the dough for cookies, and it is hilarious to watch her.
I might have to check some of those out.
You have to see if you can find them. I can't remember if they're on YouTube or on the Facebook, or it's called Cooking with
But,
Balin.
I liked watching those. Every now and then I like watching those shorts too on there. But
Hmm.
it seems like a lot of those shorts are women in bikinis or holding towels, and
I know, and it's just
and that's
a
just
lot
like,
of it's
come on, give
stupid.
me a fucking break, okay? And then you
Yeah, a
got
lot of it's stupid shit,
and
and
then
it's
you
like,
got
what
the
the
other
fuck?
shit, the other stuff that I really don't like. Besides all them women and they're sitting there trying to objectify themselves and get hits just because whatever. But then the other ones that bother me are the ones that they're showing creatures that really don't exist or have gone extinct, and they're trying to, it's all AI crap. You know that this can't be real, you know, and it's totally AI. Those are the ones that bother me the
Hmm.
most, you know.
Yeah, I
And
know.
but my favorite the favorite shorts I see, and I wish I could be as creative as some of these people, as they are.
Yeah,
I
I know.
It's just when it happens. One, I don't have a fucking camera handy, and by the time I get a camera handy, like even if it's just my phone, the little bitch stops. Like you get into an
Hmm.
argument with a puppy, and then later you kind of like text you put the text in of what the dog is saying, right? Well, I've seen a lot of these type of husky videos, and some of them are just fucking hilarious. You know, I love those. Those are some of my favorite. When I see the really good husky videos, is like one with two, and it's like, "Mom, she bit me," and the other one's like, "No, I did not." And
Hmm. Huskies are extremely talkative, except for the one next door to us here.
until you get the camera out.
Well, the one next door to us here, Willow, um, the lady puts her out for a little bit, and she'll just stand out there. She won't bark. She won't nothing. Just, and it's like, what the hell? What's up with this dog? Why isn't she a talkative dog?
Well,
But because my experience with huskies, because of you, is that they're an extremely talkative and
yeah,
argumentative dog.
they're gonna call me the husky whisperer. That's how it's gonna be on my stone. I've raised so many huskies that you know, and that's just the Siberian and Malamute Huskies. It's not any other category that you might categorize a husky in. It's just those two breeds
Yeah.
that I've raised most of my life. and that almost sounds like what Katie did to Nitro and what happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you sit there and start punishing them by putting them in a kennel because you can't have a dog and you're living in an apartment or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could have been, you know, before she moved in that house next. You're talking about that one that was vacant for a while, right next door to you, right?
Yeah, the lady next door to us here.
Yeah. You know, she could have lived in an apartment. She could have gotten them as an abused puppy because they were like, you know, and she just doesn't have the time or the patience to try to teach them to bark and howl again. You
Yeah,
know,
but I don't know. I don't know the situation with her, but it's just like it's like she doesn't. She's a very quiet dog when she's got her
yeah,
outside.
see, that's not right because any of the husky I've ever come across, they're very vocal. You know, I mean, I'll never forget my husky when I was a kid. He was a half breed. He was half Siberian and half Malamute. So he's a pretty big dog, right? Very fluffy. But
Yeah.
every time he'd like yawn, he'd go "Arr, arr, 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 arr," you know. But you know, dogs yawn. They tend to yawn. You know that big. But his would never be quiet. He'd go "Arr, arr, 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 arr." You know, every husky I know have always been very vocal. Everyone except Nitro. He was vocal as a pup, and then at some point, because of Katie and Jeremy and her, they, you know,
Well, yeah, they'd throw him in that fucking kennel,
right.
and they did that. They did Nitro wrong.
And you know, it took me months. I mean, months of a lot of TLC and giving him treats and a lot of positive reinforcement to let him know that it's okay to bark. I want you to bark and I want you to howl if you can. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I encourage it. And by the end there, he was doing all of that, and it's just too bad. But at least he got a very happy last couple of years.
Okay.
You know, he never got to see a kennel again. He
Mm-hmm.
was always allowed on the furniture, and you know,
Well, yeah, and that's the thing.
and they underestimate. You know, they sit there and say, "Oh, he's going to tear up your couches and stuff," and he never did. He chewed on them for a
This
little
is
while,
weird.
once or twice.
This one's weird. Now look at it closely.
Doritos ice cream.
Yep. Scoop of that with the fucking Doritos next to
Are you fucking nuts?
it. I was saying, it's like,
Would you eat it?
personally, no, but I know people who would. My daughter being one of them. Now, what'd you do?
Would you eat Doritos ice cream?
Hell no.
I didn't do nothing.
What the hell was that? That was weird. But
I
no,
mean,
my daughter's one that would. My granddaughter would most definitely eat something like that.
I don't think so. You know,
But me, no. Personally, I would not.
I don't know if I'm with some of these non-traditional flavors of ice cream that I've seen over the years. You know, I mean, I've seen a lot of weird shit when it comes to ice cream, but that's got to take the fucking cake right there almost. Crunched up Doritos in a Dorito flavored ice cream.
It's not. Yeah,
Uh,
it just.
that just looked disgusting. You know, you know, I grew up in the time where there was Baskin Robbins, you know,
Oh yeah,
and
31 flavors.
and then the other one that was like there was two of the biggest ice cream chains were in Wisconsin here. Baskin Robbins being one of them, and I can't remember what the other one was, but you know, those were the ones that had like Blue Moon ice cream, bubble
Mhm.
gum ice cream, mint chocolate chip, you know, the dreamsicle ice cream, you know, where it was orange and vanilla like and tasted like a dreamsicle,
Yeah.
you know. Now those were like traditional flavors, you know, Rocky Road, you know. I, you know, but there was no way I could see myself. And I like ice cream, I really do. You know, mint is my favorite.
Yeah,
And
but
then
you've gotten to that point where you can't eat that kind of stuff anymore.
I can eat ice cream sometimes, I can get away with it. I actually had a mint. What was that? Shamrock shake the other day. Although I didn't drink it all, it was a small one without the whipped cream. But I think actually my tolerance might be building back up. You know, I'm taking it easy and trying, you know. They say that can happen. I don't know. I mean, I've been drinking every now and then. She goes to Quick Trip, and that's another thing. I had her get, and it's like I had her get me strawberry milk, right?
Yeah.
And it's like from the Quick Trip, you know, the little mini baby bottles, you know, the little tiny ones. And it's like, oh man. And it's like, I guess it's like my taste when I grew up. It was like we had that Nestle Quick powdered stuff in a can that you had to take this one end of the spoon and pop the cap off and, you know, make it that way. And it's like it was really strawberry tasty, you know, but that milk, you could barely taste it. It's like, oh, just keep giving me chocolate. Because I didn't like that stuff. But I've been drinking, you know, the little mini bottles from Quick Trip now and then, hoping that helps. You know,
Well, maybe they can get tolerance back up.
so it's like, you know, if there's enough sugar in it, you know, like the ice cream. But most of the time, I rather go to, you know, I'll go to some place like Culver's or Michael's Frozen Custard because that's what they use. You know, it's custard,
Yeah.
and I can tolerate that better than say Dairy Queen's ice cream. You know, so, but I do miss that stuff because ice cream. When I was growing up, I was one of those ones that used to chase that ice cream truck for blocks. You know, you could hear that thing. You might not hear your mother yelling at you, but you could hear that ice cream truck for fucking miles. You know,
Yep.
go running in. You go, Mama, give me some money. The ice cream truck's coming.
Ice cream.
You know, and the motherfucker
You'd
would
be,
too. He'd make
you'd
you
be running
crazy.
down. You'd be running down the road like Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run! Ice cream, man.
Yeah, the thing is, motherfucker would make you chase him an extra block
Lieutenant
or two
Dan,
just
I want
because
some
he
ice
could.
cream. Oh,
But man, I miss some of those things from those days that of growing up. You know, you don't see ice cream trucks out too often.
well,
You
where I
know,
lived in Cali, man, we were like 6 miles from the nearest town, but we had ice cream trucks come by.
well, in Madison, the ice cream trucks were called the Bluebell. All right.
Yeah.
And there was a bar just off of about 2 blocks. I think it was Main Street, because there was a bar called Main Street Tap. And I think that was just a couple blocks off of West Washington Avenue near Broome Street, or whatever that street was that took you over to
Mhm.
John Nolan. Anyway, right across the street on Main Street was a great big area where all the ice cream trucks were parked and where they'd leave from, when they'd get loaded,
Yeah.
and they had like 20 or 30 of them trucks there, and they'd go out and they'd cover most of Madison. So you go into them neighborhoods and you're bound to see an ice cream truck within a certain amount of time.
Well, that's the thing. You guys had all kinds of stuff like that around here.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, it's all gone now because kids are growing up with all these perks that we didn't have, like cable TV, streaming services, the internet,
Yep.
your video games right in your house with all these big fancy consoles,
A lot of stuff
a
that's
computer
gone.
in your fucking pocket. And I grew up into some of them low income neighborhoods, and for low income neighborhoods back then, we got it made. We had the CC Riders come in and build
Mhm.
us a hell of a playground, 2 of them actually, out of wood. And then they built, I forget what it's called. It's just kind of like a U, all made out of wood. It was like for skateboarding. A half pipe.
Yeah, half pipe.
So they built a half pipe up on the hill not too far away for us as well, because there was a lot of us that had skateboards. And then one dumb motherfucker tried to do that with his bike, and it didn't go over so well. Had to try. I was a crazy kid. But when
we never had guys like that come build shit for us. We built it ourselves.
well, we got it built for us, and then you look around Madison where the city built some things. They had skateboard parks. They had all these city parks. There was before, over where American TV used to sit over by East Wash. Do you remember that? Over by the theater and all that.
Mhm.
There was American TV up over there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that whole area when I was a kid was kind of abandoned and a bunch of dead ends up in there. The side roads. They didn't go anywhere. They were
Mhm.
all dead ends. Shit. When I got my license and we were all driving and shit, we'd hang up there. Somebody'd have speakers in the trunk, and they'd open up the trunk, play music. We'd sit up there and smoke pot, drink, and stuff like this. And every now and then, somebody's like, you say they're coming to that area to meet up with somebody else, and just about everybody had a CB in their car back then. So it's like, oh, the cops are coming up that way, and it's like, shut it down, But then you had all the roller rinks, and you had the arcades, and you had the non-alcoholic bars and clubs, and pool clubs, pool halls, and the drive-in movie theaters and stuff that's just disappearing now. It's pathetic. Oh, now we go straight from fucking around at home, no social skills whatsoever, and go out and do a bar and get drunk and get into fights.
Yeah.
Because you don't learn social skills. They can't teach you that on the internet.
No.
Fuck, you can still do what I said a long time ago when the internet first started in its infancy, is you can go online and be whoever the fuck you want to be, and nobody's going to know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's that mean? That means it opens the door for a bunch of perverts, maniacs, and so on and so forth to prey upon kids and people. You know,
Yep.
but at the same time, these kids have no social skills, no common sense, no imagination. Uh, Technology moved way too fast to ruin this. You know, pretty much ruining everything.
Kind of is.
It is. You know, we all thought it was a good thing, and until stuff like AI came out and robots, you know, and people started making phone calls with them robots. Now you got a bunch of scam artists using stuff. Oh, we can block the phone numbers now. We know how to do that, or create a fake phone number now with programs.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to call these places and scam them and make it look like, or, you know, yeah, it's gotten bad over the years. The further time goes on, the worse it's getting. I mean, look, some of that stuff you can't tell if it's AI or something real. You got to be very skeptical of everything you see nowadays.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I could see doing like what they did for a reason. They did it for a reason. They made that documentary, you know, and it was done to, you know, stop the Navy from their sonar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it look like, man, they made it really believable. We both agree on that. The mermaid, remember that?
Yep.
All right. But now with these little reels and AI out there, you're getting people and you see them fishing on a boat and stuff, and they drug in a mermaid.
Yeah.
You know? And you've got them all from looking like the Little Mermaid cartoon type, you know, to something looking like a hag, real evil looking, you know. You got both, and they're doing this a lot, you know, and they look real because it's AI,
I
and
know.
none of those videos showed up until AI started happening, you know. Or you get the ones where you get like uh, somebody's in a boat out in sea, and then all of a sudden something comes up from underneath it and swallows the whole boat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that comes out from the bottom is like one of these creatures that's like, yeah, impossible, you know. It's getting ridiculous, you know, because you can't tell the difference sometimes. So you got to be very careful nowadays. You know, I don't believe anything I see.
Yeah, there's way too much out there
There is. I mean,
with the AI and shit.
and it's getting worse. You know, they're using AI to show cryptids. Oh, I saw Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you got to watch it a million times and look for the things that'll give it away that it's AI.
Yep.
You know, and that takes too much time sometimes. You know, it's like,
Well, some of this AI stuff is just done on the fly and kind of quick, and then there's other stuff that's kind of,
yeah, they
you know,
take their time with it and make it look real.
yep.
And then you have to really look close and dissect the video or the picture and try to determine if it's real or AI. You know, I mean, until I see something, I'm not going to believe half the shit I see.
Right.
until I see it for myself up front and in person. I mean, some of this stuff I think can easily be explained. You know, some of the sea creatures that people are seeing, especially like in a lake that was man made or not man made, that was made from the glaciers and has no connections to like the ocean, direct connections, where it connects to rivers, but it connect to another river or lake or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. But no direct connections to the ocean. I think what they're seeing in those lakes is more than likely a very old and very, very oversized lake sturgeon.
Yeah. Very
Because
well.
if
Could
you've
be.
ever seen a lake sturgeon break the water surface, motherfucker looks like a monster.
Ugly.
Yeah, well, it's prehistoric. Those are probably one of the oldest living fish that's been around. You
Yep.
know, and they haven't changed much.
Sturgeon are a prehistoric fish.
Right? They're an actual, living
They're an
dinosaur.
they're a relic from the dinosaur era.
Right. So and see with things like that growing to, they could be like a snake or something where they grow to the size of their environment, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and given in the proper lake and with the proper food, those things can get pretty big. But who's to say that they don't get, you know, scientists can only predict, oh, the largest one on record is this big. But how do you know they don't get larger? You know, because they really don't stop growing.
It
They
just
just
depends
keep
upon their
getting
environment.
aging. Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, sturgeon
If
are
their
the same
environment
kind of
won't allow
fish.
them.
Yes, that's the thing about sturgeon. They're that kind of fish where they basically will keep growing to their environment.
Right. And who's to say one can't be oversized because maybe, let's say, it's got giantism or something, that form of.
Gigantic.
Right.
Yeah.
They talk about that kind of thing in other sea creatures. I've seen the documentaries and stuff. Why can't that happen? It's just like the black thing with the cougars. Oh, there's no such thing
Mm-hmm.
as a black cougar. Why not? Just because you haven't seen one doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know,
Exactly.
but say, for example, in Lake Mendota, you get a sturgeon that reaches 20 feet, and somebody sees that fucker break the surface of the water. Oh, there's Bozo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they see something that big and that prehistoric looking. They're not going to think sturgeon right away. They're going to think monster. You know, and the mind plays little tricks on you. Depending on how close you are to that and how much you panic. eh, When you go and say, "Oh, I saw this," you may be exaggerating or not get all the facts straight because you're seeing what the mind saw, and not what the eyes saw.
Right.
If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know.
You know, but see now when it comes to say Pepe, for example, another lake monster. We don't know what
Mm-hmm.
that can be. That could be a lot of different things because that lake's got direct access to the ocean via the Mississippi River, you know.
Right.
And that lake is one of the 4 lakes up in the Wisconsin area that are connected that go, the Mississippi goes right through the middle of them, you know. So there, and then there's the possibility that what do they call it? Plesiosaur? Is that what it is?
Yeah, plesiosaur.
You know,
You're learning.
well, who the hell knows if that could have survived and adapted?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
there's
that's the thing. How do we know that all of the dinosaurs allegedly died out?
and when it well,
Supposedly.
and at the same time, scientists have said things have gone extinct, and all of a sudden, here we are 10,000 years later, and one washes up on shore, or one gets found on some remote island somewhere. I mean, they can't be for sure, 100% certain that anything went extinct. And with the waters being as deep as they are, and let's say there's what do they call that? You ever watched the Meg? That movie?
No, I actually have not. You're talking about the Megalodon. But
No, the Meg. The movie The Meg with Jason Statham or whatever.
It's Jason Statham, and
Yeah.
they got the Meg and the Meg 2. And
No, the
I don't know if
first
it's
one.
back. I don't know if they have the first one back on Max, but it was on Max for a while. I think 2 is still on Max, but
Well,
no,
they
I have
talked
not.
about
I never
they
did
talked
watch
about
it.
a thermal type blanket.
Right, and then of course Meg 2. The Meg
I'll be
2
right.
is something about the creatures from deep or something like that.
So yeah,
Or the
but
trench.
they got like a thermal blanket that keeps everything below it. So, but let's say and they showed like where the sub punched it coming back through, and all this warm air made a tunnel for a brief, and so
Yeah.
anything from those depths below that blanket were able to come up to that warm tunnel for those few seconds there, because it's like so and then when it opened and closed, so if anything ever punctured that could open a gateway for God knows what's down there.
Right.
But over the years, say the plesiosaur survived, over the years it adapted and got a little smaller, and that thing could go unnoticed for God knows how long. So that's
true.
So that's because of that and all the other things that can come up the Mississippi River. It's possible that could be anything still. But like
True.
with Lake Mendota, I still think it's an oversized sturgeon that people are seeing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I told you. But
But when it comes to like things like the bull shark, well, our boat captain that was out there giving tours. Well, I've seen those, not a bull shark.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing too.
And
The
this guy was on
Mississippi,
that lake
the
for 17
Mississippi,
years.
right? But see, the Mississippi River that connects all the way to the ocean,
Right.
and it's already been proven that bull sharks can live in fresh water.
And salt water.
They live in saltwater, freshwater, brine, whatever, and that they can thrive in it. So how do we know that we don't have bull sharks in the Mississippi River?
Oh, there is bull sharks in the Mississippi River. Our boat captain saw plenty of them in Lake Pepin. They've been spotted in and around Illinois on that side of the Mississippi. They've been spotted in the Dubuque area of Mississippi.
Yeah, I saw it.
So they're spotted
Well, there you go.
frequently in the Mississippi River. So most people that live along the Mississippi and stuff like
So
that visit
hey, I got a
would
question
know
for you.
a bull shark from other
Never mind.
things. Anyway, you got a question for me?
Never mind. I answered my own question already.
Would you answer your own question? What was the question?
Well, I was just gonna ask, what age do they consider seniors now? It's at 55.
Yeah, it depends on the location you go to for it, whether you get the discount or not.
Yep.
Some places are 55,
So,
some places are 65.
besides that steakhouse that you were talking about with your mother worked, what's the other one that you had a hard on for?
Steakhouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's steakhouse that I was talking about.
Yeah, you said there was York Steakhouse. You
Oh
kept
yeah,
talking
the
about
York
York
Steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
Yeah, I want to go to the last York Steakhouse, which
So
is in
what's the other one that
Cleveland,
you
Ohio.
what's that other steakhouse you supposedly had a hard on for? It was around here.
There isn't one.
No, there was another one you kept talking about. Wasn't it like Ponderosa or something like that?
No, Ponderosa went downhill
Yeah.
fast.
Is there any Ponderosa still around?
I don't know. I really don't can tell you. You know, it, the last real the last steakhouse I went to was it wasn't the one that was Aussie. Um, God damn it! There's Outback and what's the other one? Outback.
Outback was a good one.
Yeah,
I like that.
but Outback and there's another
Well,
one.
Outback's not in. There is no Outback Steakhouse in the east side of Madison anymore.
No, but there's another one. Outback and Tanya.
What?
What's the two steakhouses? Outback and what's the other one?
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse ain't too bad.
That's the last place I went to do for a steak restaurant.
Then they used to have a Ponderosa up in um
The last two I knew of that
not
existed,
Columbus, but
Beaver Dam
Beaver Dam. Right.
had one, and Janesville had the other one. The one in Janesville, I don't know if it's still there or not because we didn't drive down far enough the last time we were there. And I don't know for sure about the Beaver Dam one. But that steakhouse went downhill over the years. Real bad. It was good back in the day when I was working for them, and 10 years after that, they pretty much stayed the same, but somewhere along the line they changed everything and it sucked.
So I guess here's a question for you. If you had an opportunity to go to Ponderosa, would you want to?
I don't know why.
You know my scheming little ass.
Well, I
There's
wouldn't
a
turn
there's
down.
a there's a
Let's
Ponderosa up in the Dells.
let's put it this way. I'll put it this way to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't turn down a free steak,
Well, there's a Ponderosa.
no
up
matter
in the
what
Dells.
restaurant it was at.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, but I don't call it the Dells anymore. We call it Mount Olympus.
Well, it's up in the Dells. It's Wisconsin Dells. There is a Ponderosa up there,
You know,
and it's still open.
well,
And
I would take a trip.
they have a buffet actually.
That's
And I
that's
was
the
looking
part
at
that
their
sucks. That's the part of the restaurant that sucks.
what, the buffet?
Yeah,
No, they also have um, a regular menu,
Yeah, I know. Because the last one we
and
went to was in
you can get
Beaver Dam or Janesville. So
and you can actually um,
get a steak and a nice big baked potato and sour
yep,
cream.
they have let's see, meals include full buffet and choice of potato.
Right.
All right, you've got a cheeseburger, chicken breast plate, big chopped steak plate, 7-piece shrimp plate, sirloin tips plate, petite sirloin, skewer grilled shrimp, grilled salmon, 10-ounce center cut sirloin. That's a $25.99 for that. But all of these include that buffet,
Right.
and then the 10-ounce ribeye.
Right.
Or you can get the buffet by itself, and for lunch you can do the lunch, or you can do the dinner.
Yeah.
Lunch hours 11 to 3 on Saturday. Dinner hours 3:30 to close Monday through Saturday.
Well, back in the day when Ponderosa was good, they used to have a breakfast buffet too on Saturdays and Sundays, and
Well,
that was really. I mean, out of all the breakfast
uh-huh.
buffets, that was a really good one.
Well, their dinner buffet is $18.99 or
You know,
$17.99 for seniors.
you know what else they got up there at the Dells? A
That's that.
Mark's, a Mark's Big Boy.
Yeah, really.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
We went up there like one weekend, and the statue was sitting sideways on the roof, and then the next weekend we were up there, and it was set up, and then all of a sudden on Facebook, oh, it's their grand opening. Yeah, we saw it kind of come together up there in the Dells.
Yeah,
Because for parking, we found, it seemed like every time we went up there to park to go along the shopping district of the Dells, we basically parked on that road, that side road right there by that Mark's Big Boy. We always found parking by it. Well, it's time to end. Mark was a little late, so you didn't get a full 2 hours, but I know there's one on after
yeah.
this.
It's
I
my
don't want
fault.
to step on toes, so
It's my
have,
fault. It was my
have a
fault.
good evening. Remember, anything's possible, and stay safe out there. Sorry, whoever that is that we just popped in, but we're signing out. So there's a show on Things Network, I think at 7.
Yeah. So we're 5 minutes over. But anyway, no, I remember you saying something about Pond.